friend. Welcome back to Harpies in the Trees, where I review horror books with a supernatural focus. Hey guys, I hope you're having a really great Monday. There's only a few more weeks left to Halloween and I'm very excited. So I know that you guys really enjoyed the Autumn Reads video that I did. So after thinking it over a little bit, I decided that I should do another video. But instead of this one celebrating autumn, this will celebrate the second most favorite thing for me in the year, which is Halloween. The YouTubers that you're going to meet, some of them are fairly new to the platform. Some of them are kind of small. Some of them you may know already, but I think that you're going to find some new channels here that you may like, and also at least one scary book to read for Halloween. There's definitely going to be something here for everyone, because each one of these guys have their own types of horror that they really enjoy. So I'm really happy to present it to you. But before we get into all of the really cool videos coming up, let me talk to you about my choice for a scary read for October, Knock Knock by S.P. Mysklowski. I picked up this book because I saw a review done by Mother Horror and it sounded really intriguing. But I also just was drawn to the cover. And it's one of those things that just, especially in horror books, I think, the covers really kind of just call to you. This is a story about a group of young girls who are growing up in the 1960s. They've decided that being pregnant and becoming mothers is something that they never want to experience or become when they grow up, because they see their mothers and their aunts all going through what seems like terrible transformations. And that has them lightheaded and sick to their stomach with the idea that when they become women, their bodies will change in ways that seem horrific. One of the girls in the group is much more worldly than the other 8-year-olds because her mother is a midwife. And so she knows a lot of information about the secrets of pregnancy and motherhood. So they look to her to be the one who has to come up with a pact, some foolproof way for them to make this commitment to each other and make it real. They go into the forest. They bring along with them some objects and implements. They speak some words that they had carefully written together. They say these words into the woods and then they go home. But little do they know that one of them found something there in the woods that night and took it home. So I really enjoyed this. It's very creepy. There's a lot of disturbing stuff in here, but I really think that you'll enjoy it. All right, let's meet these other awesome booktubers and see what recommendations they have for you for Halloween.
I'll be here, waiting for you when you come back. Hi, I'm Jordaline. Today I've been asked to talk to you about the best book that I could think of for Halloween. Let's get started. You may already be familiar with me, familiar with my channel. You may not. If you were, you might know that I read a book a few months ago. A book so horrendous, it made me feel disgusted. This is the kind of book that you read and you feel like you want to tear your flesh off and then eat it, because it's so gross. Also, that made no sense. The book I'm referring to is the book I'm going to recommend to you today. And that is, of course, The Resurrectionist by Ralph James White. The author of this novel has basically compiled a book that consists of most depraved, disgusting imagery that he could think of, with a lot of sexual content. When I was asked to choose a book that was the scariest for Halloween, this was the first thing that came to my head. Maybe some people want to read really fucked up shit for Halloween. I thought, if you wanted to step your pussy up for Halloween, this is gonna do it for you. I haven't even told you what this is about. This is about a young boy named Dale. As a child, Dale realizes that he has this power he can bring them back from the dead. He's resurrecting bitches all over the place. He's not doing it because he's a good person. Dale has set it upon himself to murder and viciously assault his neighbors every single night and then bring them back. Let's be serious for a moment, because it's all good and fun to want to read some fucked up shit, but there are a million trigger warnings for this. If you are triggered by rape, by animal cruelty, incest, by necrophilia, massive amounts of gore, skip this. Just skip it. Do not read. This is for the bitches who want a fucked up book. Because honestly, and I'm gonna be honest, this is the most fucked up book I've ever read. It's gross, but it's fun, kind of. I hope you enjoy this book. If you didn't, my name is Rachel from Shades of Orange. Thank you so much.
Good evening, ghoulies and ghosties and long-leggedy beasties. This is Alex, and my channel is Bookworm of the Damned. Before I get started, I would like to say thank you to Harpies in the Trees for including me in this video. Also, I would like to say Happy Halloween to everyone who's watching. Now, with the book that I decided to pick for this segment, I went with Ghost Story by Peter Straub. Now, I've never heard anyone say this book was okay. For the most part, I've heard people say they love it or hate it, and as far as myself is concerned, I absolutely love this book, which there were times when I was reading this at night that I had to put it down because I felt like someone was watching me from behind, and that just creeped me out way too much. But also, I feel it's suitable for this time of year because it does take place around the end of October and goes through the holiday season. And if you've watched the movie adaptation of this book, all I can say is the movie adaptation only touches on a fragment of the horror that goes down in this title. So if you're looking for a good old-fashioned American Gothic horror ghost story, this is the book for you.
Hello everyone, author D.L. Tillery here, the Mistress of Horror. Before I get into my book recommendation, I want to thank Harpies in the Trees for including me in this video. My book recommendation is going to be the complete fictional works of H.P. Lovecraft. As you can see, the picture on the cover is cosmic horror. If you don't know about cosmic horror, definitely check it out. Cosmic horror is my favorite type of horror. The back of the book. Also, if you don't know about H.P. Lovecraft, though I'm not sure how you don't, if you like horror, then you should check him out as well. The complete fiction of H.P. Lovecraft includes such classic tales as The Case of Charles Dexter Ward, which is a novel, and At the Mountains of Madness, which is a novella, and The Shadows over Innsmouth. And then short stories, The Call of Cthulhu, and The Dutch Witch Horror. This book has a lot more in it than those, so those are the most prominent named ones that everyone knows about. But I recommend out of those two, out of all those ones I named, the two that I recommend that are my favorite would be the At the Mountains of Madness and The Call of Cthulhu, for sure. Cosmic horror itself is very psychological a lot of the times. The world that these creatures are in gets distorted and just transformed completely into something that the human mind cannot comprehend and take. Cosmic horror are usually cosmic beings that oversee things, and they love to play with your psyche and everything else. So definitely my recommendation is going to be the complete fictional works of H.P. Lovecraft. Happy Halloween.
Hi there, my name is Erin. My channel's name is Erin Megan. I'm a lover of all things spooky and horror, so my channel incorporates that, but I'm also a huge makeup enthusiast, so my channel is a mixture of makeup and horror. I was kindly asked by Mers to participate in this lovely video. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Mers. And I'm here to give you a recommendation for scariest book. Now, this was hard for me because I've been reading horror for a while, and I'm not scared by too much, unfortunately. So I kind of had to think about this for a bit. I'm here to recommend to you Dear Laura by Gemma Amor. This is a novella about the main character, Laura, who at age 13 witnesses her best friend, Bobby, go missing. And then every year on her birthday, she receives a mysterious letter claiming that this person knows what happened to Bobby. However, the letters are not innocent. They have ulterior motives beneath them. This book is not traditionally scary in my opinion. However, I think the idea of this situation is incredibly terrifying. Witnessing your best friend go missing, never seeing them again, receiving these weird, mysterious letters with very suspicious ulterior motives. I just think this whole situation is very creepy and spooky, and Gemma does a great job of putting so much emotion and feeling in such a little amount of pages. And it's a very gripping novella. It's very creepy. It's very strange and weird, but in the best way in my opinion. I find it to be one of the creepiest and scariest books I've read just based on the plot alone. And I think this book will stay with me for an extremely long time. I end up thinking about it a lot in my daily life, just remembering certain situations or certain points that happened in the book. So I highly recommend, if you want something a little scary and a little realistic, Dear Laura by Gemma Amor. Thank you again to Murs for including me in this video. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video.
What's up everybody? My name is Brad, and today I wanted to talk about one of my scariest book recommendations, and that is Devil's Creek by Todd Kiesling from Silver Shamrock Publishing. The reason I chose this book is, in my opinion, is the perfect blend of a lot of different horror elements that I truly love. For me, the scariest monsters of all when it comes to horror are the human monsters, the human villains. There's just something more terrifying and chilling and relatable about a human villain than there is any type of mythological creature that you could conjure up. And this book has a fantastic human villain in it by the name of Jacob Masters. He's suave, he's charismatic, he's a religious cult leader who has brainwashed his flock into committing these heinous atrocities that they otherwise never would have perpetrated. All of that is blended in with these cosmic horror elements. Our story here takes place in the town of Stafford, Kentucky, and beneath the town rests this buried, nameless god that is trying to be called forth to wreak havoc and destruction. So for me, it's the perfect blend of human horror with these cosmic horror elements. It is a fantastic cult horror story, small town horror story, and cosmic horror story all blended in together. It's insidious, it's terrifying, it's epic, it's sprawling. The characters you come to relate with and sympathize with. The town itself becomes a character on its own. It feels real and it feels like a place you could truly visit. For me, it is a master class in small town horror, the best small town horror book that I've read since Salem's Lot by Stephen King, which is saying a bunch coming from me because Salem's Lot is my favorite Stephen King novel. If you haven't read this, I highly recommend it. Check it out. It's full of just cosmic horror goodness, bloody, brutal, savage, wicked, all those adjectives put together. But really, definitely check this out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And I wanted to say thank you to Murs for inviting me to join in on this BookTube collaboration where we're giving our scariest book recommendations. I really appreciate it. Definitely check out Devil's Creek, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Hi everybody, my name is Richard and I'm the host of the YouTube horror review channel, Are You Into Horror? And first off, I want to give a huge shout out to Murs from Harpies in the Trees for inviting me to do this be in this collaboration of horror YouTube channels. And hey, we all love horror, so let's get into it. So, Murs asked us all to come up with one of the scariest books we could recommend for our favorite time of the year, which is Halloween. And you know what? I just read one. Normally, as you can see behind me, I read vintage horror. I've been reading horror for 50 years. However, I've really gotten turned on to some new horror. And one of my new favorite authors is John Everson. And one of his newest books is the book I'm going to recommend to you guys today. It is House by the Cemetery by John Everson. There's only 256 pages in it, and this book will scare the living hell out of you. The book has got extreme body horror, huge high body counts, and the book takes place in Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, which is actually in Illinois. It is a real cemetery, and there is a real house by the cemetery, hence the name of the title of the book. So, 50 years ago, a woman who believed to be a witch lived in this house, and she was horribly tortured and murdered, and she left a curse on anybody that come near the house. Well, Halloween time is coming, and they're gonna turn the haunted house by the cemetery into a Halloween haunt. So yeah, you guys will love it. So that's my review, you guys. And once again, thank you so much to Merce at Harpies in the Trees. Take care, you guys. I'm Richard with Are You Into Horror?
Alright, I'm AB Frank, and my channel is the Bookish Report. I want to thank Merce for asking me to make this book recommendation, and I know that I'm in good company with the other booktubers that are featuring in this video. When Merce asked me to do this, there was only ever one book that I was really going to consider to recommend for this Halloween, and that is The Coffin Path by Catherine Clements. It's my favourite book of the year so far, and I talk about it at every single opportunity that I get. On my phone, when I write the word the predictive text suggests the word coffin and path afterwards. It thinks every time I write the word the that I'm going to write The Coffin Path. That's how much I love it, and that's how much I speak about this book. Maybe you've heard the tales about Scarcross Hall, the house on the old coffin path that winds from village to moortop. They say there's something up there, something evil. Mercy Booth isn't afraid. The moors and Scarcross Hall are her home and lifeblood. But beneath her certainty, small things are beginning to trouble her. 3 ancient coins missing from her father's study, the shadowy figure out by the gatepost, an unshakable sense that someone is watching. When a stranger appears seeking work, Mercy reluctantly takes him in. As their stories entwine, this man will change everything. She just can't see it yet. The reason I'm recommending The Coffin Path is that this time of year and this book go perfectly together. It's got such a cold tone, and it sets that tone right from the beginning. So the opening scene, Mercy Booth, the main character, is trying to help an animal on the farm give birth, and she's not sure if she'll be able to save the animal itself after giving birth, and she's just out there by herself in the cold weather and the bad rainy weather and the night, and it's dark, and it just gives off all these gothic tones and these gothic vibes that are consistent throughout the book. Now, The Coffin Path is really gothic and creepy for a number of reasons. The first is that the human characters, you sometimes fear that they will do something bad to Mercy Booth, so there's the human element of it that is quite scary, but there's also the ghostly elements to the book. It is a ghost story after all, and it doesn't disappoint in that respect. It is a historical fiction novel, so it's set in the 17th century, and around that time you can imagine the way that women are treated by men is really quite uncomfortable, and the laws around things like women owning property are two prevalent themes in this book. But Mercy Booth is such a good feminist protagonist. Yeah, I think you'll really like the book. And on top of all that spooky goodness, you've got Catherine Clements, who writes such beautiful prose and such good choice of language that's so vivid and enticing. I actually found myself trying not to finish this book quickly because I loved the writing that much. I wanted to stay in the story and be part of it for longer. Anyway, I'm out of time. That was my recommendation for the scariest book to read this Halloween, and you won't regret it.
So, I hope you found something new that you want to add to your TBR stack and some new channels that you'd like to subscribe to. But I would recommend subscribing to all of them because variety is the pumpkin spice of life. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. I want to give a very heartfelt thank to everyone who participated in the video. I really appreciate it. I know everyone's really busy. A lot of people are in school and just work and kids and family and life and all that kind of stuff. So I really appreciate that you guys took the time for me. It means a lot. So thank you. I really enjoyed putting these videos together. The autumn video and now the Halloween video, and I think I'll make it a yearly thing because It is a lot of fun, and a year from now there's going to be so many more new awesome recommendations, and also I'm sure there's going to be some new book channels as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. And just a reminder, my Halloween special is going to be coming soon. It's going to be coming on October 31st, and I will live premiere this. I think it'll be fun just to be able to watch it live with whoever is going to come, and we can just talk and chat and discuss what's happening and get your feedback and your thoughts on everything you're seeing. So I think it'll be really, really fun. And if not, you can just watch it later whenever you like. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this evening. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you can, share this video so we can give some more exposure to these great channels and also to these really cool books. If you're on Instagram, you can follow me at Harpies in the Trees. Please take care of yourselves, wear a mask, and watch out for each other. And I'll talk to you next time.